Alright, on with the projects. So today's project, coilovers and rear springs and shocks. I'm going to start back here in the back. First thing I did was put the jack underneath the swing arm. The car's still up on jack stands, just so I could raise up the car a little bit to take the pressure off the shock. Start getting the top bolt out. Alright, back to it. Alright, as you can see, both shocks are out. I moved the jack over to the other side so that I could take the tension off the bolts. All you gotta do is put a very little bit of tension, and the two bolts that hold it, the upper and lower, come out. That's the upper. It is one long SOB. The bottom one's not much better, but luckily it stays in. So, as you can see, so once I drop the jack, I should be able to pull these springs out. So that's what we're going to do next. Alright, jack out of the way, drop the rear end, a little bit of wiggling and pushing, and it came right out. If you really were concerned, or if you're going with a bigger spring for some reason, or a taller spring, you can always unbolt your caliper and let it really get you some distance. But yeah, right now it's just kind of doing its thing, and it came right out. Alright, here's our box. We've got some new springs, got our new coilovers, and we've got some new shocks. Here's our new spring. I already took one out of the box. Has a rubber isolator on the bottom, nothing for the top. Alright, so both rear springs are set in place. I'm going to put the jack under, slowly lift this up a little bit so that I can put the shocks in. Alright, so maybe hard to see, but there are two different sized spacers. Depending on how you put them in, your bottom shock may line up differently. I still have a little bit of gap here. I haven't tightened it down, but I put the spacers in the other way, and it was way off to the side here, going that direction. This looks a lot better. Everything seems to line up. Alright, so the little firmness adjuster there, from soft to firm, is 32 clicks. So I went all the way firm and backed off 15. At the track, the car was always bouncy in the rear. I'm hoping that that firms it up. It gives me an idea if I need to go harder or softer. Both shocks are in, tight and adjusted. I got both spacers down to just below the lip, so giving myself enough room to get the tools in. Alright, one extra thing I did buy, let's get this out of the sun, are adjustable camber bolts for the front. This particular model doesn't come with the adjustable camber bolts. Now, I did get the adjustable camber plates for the top of the new struts, but I went ahead and got the bottom one. It just gives me more adjustment so that I can really dial the front of this car in. The back, I'm not really sure how you get those adjusted. There doesn't seem to be any adjustment. So that's something I'm going to have to look at down the road. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the three top of the strut tower nuts, and then I'll go down here and remove the bottom two and the line that goes for the brakes. I already got the sway bar out because, or the sway bar links out, because I put a new sway bar in and I have new links to go in. And just like that, pops right out. So when you take the two big nuts off, these bolts may or may not spin. Mine didn't spin, but as soon as I let the pressure off of the jack and let the spindle down, I could push the whole bolt out with my finger. Of course, now I'm dropping it. Here's my new bolt. This is the for the upper camber adjustment. So this will go in the upper slot, and we're going to pull the new spring out and get it stuck in there. Strut bar back in place, bolts are back in. You can see the adjuster. So just a little FYI, I'm pretty sure they're all this way, but there is a left and right strut. So as long as your sway bar connector is pointing towards the front of the car, you are in business. And then for when you're putting in your upper, if you have the adjusters, it'll only go in one way. These are weird shaped holes, so but the adjusters do need to be going pretty much left or right out the side. So if you don't got that going, you're going to have to switch it. Now onto the passenger side. Alright, and so just like that, both sides are completed, front and rear. Now, I did not do any height adjustment at this point. All I did was install it. I still have to do brakes, which that'll be tomorrow or the day after. And once the tires are back on it, I'll set it on the ground. Then I'll do a separate video for adjusting the ride height. Alright, well that's where we're at today. Thanks for watching.